Ken for Westfield Community Programming. Each and every election cycle for the past decade, we have invited in everyone running for City Council, both ward and at large, incumbent and challenging. And this year is no different. An email went out to every single candidate inviting them to come in for the interview that we do. Each interview is 10 questions, and it's the same question to each and every candidate. Most of the questions are an amalgam of what I pulled from social media as to how people feel, questions they may have, etc. This year, instead of doing everything live in the morning, we have pre-recorded in the afternoon. And all of the videos are being released at once. Also, by doing this, nobody has an idea as to what the questions are. The interviews that you see in this series are those of the City Council candidates who replied saying they would like to take part of it. Not all did. Make sure you get out and vote in November. Hi, Ken again for Westfield Community Programming, where, just as we have the past decade, we are doing the interviews with the City Council candidates, both at large and ward. Each candidate gets the same 10 questions, and because we are running them all at once a week ahead of the election, nobody gets a heads up as to what these questions are. In the studio with me now, City Council at large, Kristen Mello. Hello, Kristen.
Hi, Ken. Nice to be back with you.
All right. So these 10 questions, a lot of them are an amalgam of what I took off of social media. I put out a little request to see what people were interested in having asked, and I've also taken topics that have come up and just put together, an amalgam of everything.
Love it.
And I don't think there are really any real hardballs here. So anyone involved, anyone running should be able to answer these, except for maybe one. We'll get to that one shortly.
Is that about the Westfieldian thing?
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that. Westfieldian and Westfielder. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll never solve that one.
No, that one actually is solvable.
Oh, okay.
Because it's field, it's supposed to be ER, or because it's LD, you can also go with IT.
Westfieldite.
You could, but it's not my favorite because
That
field
sounds
goes with
weird.
Well, because in ball games, a fielder is right, so it
Okay.
works better that way.
All right. I gotcha.
I looked it up last time, and then I didn't get that question.
All right. Well, you're not going to get it today, but you gave us the answer anyway. Number one, Kristen. What are your thoughts on building a new combined comprehensive high school?
What are my thoughts? My first thought is that is going to be expensive.
Yes.
That is my very first thought. But the schools that we have are so old that they were old when I attended them. And I just had a birthday, right? I'm Gen X. These are old schools. So my thought is we are going to have to find a way to raise the funds to make this happen for our students. And we're going to have to be very, very careful not to waste money.
All right. I saw in the newspaper the other week the new high school they want to build in Long Meadow. It's going to be an extra 1,000 plus on everyone's tax.
Yeah.
So when you say expensive,
I say expensive. Yes, expensive.
all right, that's going to be a big bridge to walk over when the time comes.
Well, I hope that when the time comes, we could have sat down and thought about some more creative ways to finance some things around here. But, maybe, I hold a lot of hope.
All right. Onwards to number 2, and we have plenty of time here. What needs to be done to get more business development in Westfield?
What needs to be done to get more business development? Well, the city used to have a business incubator. And the idea of that was a great idea because because businesses sometimes start really small and they need extra help to get where they're going. And the recent downtown business funding and the funding that they just did for the business training, very helpful. Both of those will be very helpful. But when you look at the cost of doing business downtown, it's really high, and so is the risk. And so it would be better if we could find ways to combine what we're doing with the schools, with what we're doing downtown, with what we're doing with families, with what we're doing downtown, and generate that constant engagement of our families and our residents and their families, right? And to have a reason to bring people down other than, hey, look, here's a new thing, and it's really expensive, and it's only going to be here a few months because we can't sustain ourselves. That makes things look very dismal, even though we've had some great places come and go here and have some great places here now.
All right. And you mentioned specifically downtown.
Yeah.
Is that really the only place you want to see any type of business growth?
Oh, no. But I would like to see a different kind of business growth happening on the north side.
Okay.
Right. I would like to see some growth happen in the areas where we have the challenges on the north side. I would love to see people come together and put a science center up on the north side, like they have down in Hartford, but here that becomes a place where children from the communities in Westfield and or surrounding communities come to learn about the ecosystem here, the plants and animals that live here, the water systems here, how to protect them. All of that is an opportunity we could be doing here to generate jobs and income and development and other scientific endeavors where visiting scholars could come and do some work here on some of the contaminated areas and take a look at what's going on. But it's not happening.
Right.
And I can continue to bring it up. I mean, how many times have I mentioned this to you, Ken? I can't. We should be using our challenges as economic drivers. How many times have I said this? But I'm gonna say it again. That's what we should be doing.
It's a delicate mix between being a gateway city and yet dealing with environmental justice areas.
Yes, and I am not anti-business. I'm just anti-pollution, right? We could be having tremendous gains, especially working with places like the OTA. There are opportunities for us to do better, right? Office of Technical Assistance, and they help, when you have discharges and need to find better ways, or maybe you don't know if you have discharges, or maybe you don't have all of, your environmental hazards completely exactly listed out the way you need to in order that if there were an emergency, the fire department would know what to do, right? Like, there are people that will help you get up to speed. And a lot of our businesses have been here for a while and maybe still have stuff on paper, right? We could be doing more to encourage getting up to speed, bringing things up to all the standards they need to be at, or finding cheaper ways to bring them to standards and keep them at standards. We could be having those conversations, and it's almost like everyone is too ashamed of the situation to talk about the solution.
Gotcha. Question number 3, Kristen.
Yeah.
Why are things always built but never maintained?
Dude, because people put the funding in to build the pretty thing.
Okay.
The funding always comes to build the pretty thing. And when people ask about how it's going to be maintained, it's just that's brushed over. Yeah. Drives me nuts. I so feel you people.
Okay.
My answer to that one is
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Number 4. Why do we have dead fire hydrants in our neighborhoods?
Because we don't maintain things.
Right.
Right. Because there are these old pipes, and the old pipes were not as wide in diameter as the pipes that are currently code. And these are in the older parts of town, which are also the environmental justice neighborhoods in town, right? And it costs money and infrastructure dollars to replace those. And they tend to stack up those replacements with other engineering projects to sort of save money. But as seasoned politicians will tell you, in Westfield, pavement is votes.
Okay.
And so they would rather pave roads where they get lots of votes than fix infrastructure problems in neighborhoods that are challenged.
Okay. All right. Pavement.
You were looking for
Pavement-
an answer
pavement is
because I
votes.
was told years ago pavement equals votes.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Remember we were talking about a weird one?
Sure. Is
You know,
this the
tough
weird
one.
This one's the weird
It's
one?
going to be this one.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Depending on how well you are up on the code in Westfield, the Muni code. All right.
Okay.
What is one code you would like to remove or amend, and why?
Are you kidding?
I am not. Serious as a heart attack. Now, you don't have to quote the code, but, just think of maybe something that might be related to a code or have a code involved that you just like to see changed.
So I don't know that I'm particularly remember exactly the right number. Okay? I think it's like there's a 13 in it.
Of course.
Okay, there is. There is a code in the City of Westfield ordinances that we have been in violation of since 2022.
Okay.
And I would like to amend that code to add penalties.
Okay. In violation of what?
The Municipal Flood Control Commission code.
All right. All right. Are you able to expand on that at all?
Well, there happens to be Facebook rules about this made that I made in a fury one day, over several days actually. So there is a code in our code of ordinances that says that the mayor shall appoint flood control commissioners, and that the city council shall approve them or not, right? And they have these certain responsibilities, one of which is stepping in when the city does something that's going to cause, public health and safety problems because of flooding.
Okay.
And it is the only municipal body that had that authority. Mm-hmm. And we have not had new flood control commissioners appointed since we lost them in 2021.
Mm-hmm. All right.
And so now that we're talking about putting up to 6 acres of impervious surface up at the high school that drains into a wetland that goes into the Powder Mill Brook, which happens to have a dam on it that needs rehabilitation, that also collects water from the Armbrook Flood Control Dam, which also is getting rehabilitated. The only people that could have stopped it is the Flood Control Commission that the mayor wouldn't reappoint.
All right.
And I would change that code and add a penalty.
All right. See, that wasn't a horrible question.
That was a weird one. I do like a weird question, Ken.
All right. Number 7, which is...
You haven't asked me if I promise not to share the questions. I totally promise. These are good questions.
I'm hoping everyone is like Scouts honor. They're not going to...
Oh, you got my full promise, Ken.
I want to surprise everyone when they come in. Matter of fact, after you, I have one other candidate, and I'm not filming anymore until Thursday, a week or Tuesday.
I don't know nothing about nothing.
Good.
I didn't even hear the question.
All right. So the code question was number 5, and I said we're going on to 7 because I'm saving 6 towards the end too.
Okay. Are you trying to wind me up, Ken?
No, I'm not. It's when I did my first interview, I realized that I should have had those.
Okay,
questions.
so it's at the end for everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And when we get to it, you'll understand why I moved it. Number 7, in this case, what has to be done to get leaf pickup back?
Everyone who wants their leaves picked up should call Mike's office.
Okay.
Leave him a message. Tell him you want leaf pickup.
All right. That's simple.
If enough people want it to happen and waste his time with that all day, every day, their leaves will be picked up.
Okay. All right. Straightforward. This is what we were talking about before we started recording.
Here's the thing, the money's going to be...
You can either have a real lengthy answer or, hey, look, this is the answer.
Listen, look, you're not going to start by complaining to the poor DPW guy who just walked into a big mess, right? I'm not even bugging him right now. I'm like, let him get his
And
situated.
being an employee of Southwick, I can tell you we are blessed to have Randy here. He is a great guy.
I have everything I have heard from this man. I am like, if I'm, you do your thing, and when you're ready, I will come talk to you, right?
Yep.
So no, we're not going to bug him, and it's not because the DPW wouldn't do it. That we don't have the people. They left the money. I remember trying to cut it at budget season. Nobody wanted to cut the DPW budget. They were, I'll leave the money there for him, right? So none of the budgets got cut. Go ahead and spend. You want that leaf picked out? You call Mike, you ask him.
Gotcha. All right. Number 8. What can be done to better deal with the electric scooters and the youth using them?
That is going to be a parent education issue, I think.
Okay.
Right? I think that parents are like, oh, it's like those little things, like the skateboards, or those things go fast.
Yes, they
Those
do.
are real engines on those things, and people get hurt. This is an education thing. We need serious education, like commercials that interrupt their TV shows. Right? I mean, I don't know what the current parent generation version of a TV show they always watch is, but right, this needs to be like during football games and stuff. We need people to understand how dangerous these are.
Okay.
Education.
All right. Number 9, but we still have 2 more after that.
Okay.
What is your largest concern regarding Westfield right now?
My largest concern regarding Westfield.
I know you have probably
But I mean,
2 or 3 you need to
geographically
pick
large,
from.
like geographically. All right. So the water is always a huge concern for me, and in that respect, the largest part about the water is these new energy permitting situations that are being proposed by the state. They had to come up with all their rules for the new energy permitting, and there was supposed to be a public involvement process, but then you had to be at a meeting at a different time every 2 weeks and read hundreds of pages of stuff for each one. Yeah, because that was real community engagement. But now that they have given these draft measures with everything they've already heard, there is another set of public engagement coming up. And so in my rafty day job, we're going to start putting out on social all the different meetings that are coming up in the next few weeks. We need to speak about it, because if we do not engage with the state on what they do with energy, we're going to end up behind the ball, and just like with the battery storage. Right? So that is the biggest thing, is that Westfield has a whole lot of land, and people want to do stuff on it. And there's a whole lot of water underneath it, and so we have to be careful what we choose to do. And so that is my biggest thing, these new energy things coming out, and what is going to, the next project that's going to be like battery storage. That's my worry.
All right, heard. 2 left.
Okay.
What is your priority over the next 2 years?
Over the next 2 years, I would like to see the decision-granting authorities in Westfield come together with a vision about where we want the city to go in terms of how it is developed, how it is protected, and how it is financed. I hope that we are all getting to a point where we realize that if we all worked together, that we could probably do much better and take a lot of the burden off the residences while not shoving the businesses into situations that they find unsustainable. But there's a lot of, this is the way it's always been done, this is the way we do things. There's a lot of not open conversations where everyone can be at the table. And if we were willing to have open working meetings where everyone could be at the table and it could be an open meeting, then there would be no violations. People could have input and you would have buy-in, right, from all the different sectors that you need, from all your different stakeholders, and find a way forward, right? Landowners do not want polluted land. Business owners do not want polluted water. We all have the same needs and mostly the same goals, but we act as though we're fighting. My goal will be to get people to realize that working together, we can do much better than we're doing right now.
Gotcha. We made it to number 10.
Oh, I'm excited.
All right.
And I have how many minutes for number 10? Okay.
Um,
No pressure.
yeah, we've got, to get in the last statement or whatever, we got, 6, 7 minutes or whatever.
All right, that's a long answer.
We don't have to use, I'm just concerned about getting through the questions.
Okay.
So we don't need to utilize all 30, but I set up 30 as a maximum.
Okay.
Yeah. So we can do whatever pace you want here. But number 10 is, what makes you qualified?
To be a city councilor?
Yes.
Well, back in 2019, it was just my big mouth, right? Like back in 2019, it was just because I was speaking up for the residents to anyone who would listen about the water, and they wanted someone to speak up for them.
Right.
But since then, I have done so much reading. I don't know if you've ever seen those files. I have done so much reading on the background of how things happen, and like the history of each decision comes in with all the different departments who had to turn something over to someone else and say what it's for and where it went through and how it got here. So much institutional knowledge has come to me in the last 6 years that nobody could have transferred. About where to find the answers, where to get the answers, where the Muni Code is, and what each component requires of us, right? And like when you can attend a meeting and when you can attend but you can't talk, right? And like so there are a lot of the nuances that these past 6 years I did not have when I started. I mean, all the other counselors will tell you I did not have them when I started, and we're working on it, getting a little more, right? But what makes me qualified to represent people in Westfield is that they all know that if they call me with a problem, no matter whether we have agreed before, I will still get to the bottom of the problem and what we can, if anything, do about it. Right? You've seen my social media. I am friends with people from every political persuasion, and every idea gets a fair shake from me, right? Because sometimes the best ideas come from this political camp. Sometimes the best ideas come from that academic background, and all good ideas should be entertained. So what makes me qualified is I'm not shutting anybody down, right? I mean, you remember when people were protesting wearing the mask, I was the one telling them, yes, stand up for your rights, right? Because I still have to wear one, but that doesn't mean that everybody else had to.
Right.
Right? So what makes me qualified is that you know that I'm going to do my homework, I'm going to read the background, I'm going to ask the hard questions, I'm going to hold people accountable, and if it's wrong, I'm going to vote my conscience. And you can't always guarantee that anywhere else.
All right. At this point in time, this is where I allow you to get up on your soapbox, address the constituents of the city of Westfield, and make your plea for one of 7 votes for council at large.
Thank you, Ken. And thanks so much for having me and taking care of us here and for doing this every election season.
10 years.
Yeah, because honestly, like, what would people have if you didn't? Like the one questionnaire that we get, and that's it. So thank you, because this is a little more relaxed and people get more of a feel for you. You know what I mean? So thanks. So I'm Kristen Mello, and I was born and raised here. My educational background is in chemistry. I'm the nerd at the council table, or I'm the chemistry nerd at the council table. And I would ask for your vote for city council at large. I have been serving the Westfield voters for 6 years now. This is the completion of my 6th. I did not vote to raise your taxes this year. I did not vote to raise your trash fee this year. I'm trying very hard to keep us from charging the residents more in fees and services. I'm trying very hard to get the DOD to help take care of their responsibilities up at the base and with the water. I am trying very hard to make sure that our medical providers know how to help us with our health effects from the contamination that happened in the water. And if you need me, my number's, right on the city website, and you call me and I'll help you as best as I can. I'm not part of any kind of political movement. I answer everybody's call. I represent everybody. So if you would like me to continue to do that, I ask you for your vote. And even if you don't vote for me, thank you for listening anyway. I appreciate you. And thanks so much for having me here.
Excellent. City Council at-large candidate Kristen Mello, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, an incumbent candidate too.
Heard.
Thanks so much.